Hey, this is Reverend Sean of the Center Path, and today we're going to start going over the kind of like mid part of the wheel of Samsara, the six realms that we all know and love. Okay? And today we're going to start way up here at the top in the Deva realm. Remember, there are six realms in here. This is the 16th video that I've done on this. We did the center here, which is the three poisons or five poisons, depending on how you're looking at it, as well as karma, good karma and bad karma and neutral karma. And then we went around the outside, the 12 steps of dependent origination, which they all interconnect with each other. We talked about this. So if you want to look at those and go from the beginning, just go back into the beginning of the playlist and you can find those. But today we're going to go over this one at the top. This is called the Deva realm. D-E-V-A, not D-I-V-A, not like a singer, but a Deva. Deva is like a heavenly being, like a movie star, famous person kind of idea. But we're also in that. We can achieve that kind of thing in this very life, right? We're not stuck. It's not a literal being stuck down here where this is the human realm, right? We're not being stuck down. And we're not stuck in any of these realms because they're all impermanent. Remember Mara here, the wheel, moves the wheel really quickly, and depending on our karma. So our karma, as it works out better, right, as we do better, and this is why we should see this one not as something to be like sour towards, that sour towards it. Easy to find ourselves in this one because this is the Asuras, and they're like, it's a conflict realm. They're always like jealous of things, and they're envious, and they want what they can't have. And okay, let's think about this in a modern sense. This is the worker bees down here, and this is the executive people up here, and these guys get mad down here because these guys are making all the profit, right? So you have all the CEOs and all these guys up here and all the politicians or whatever, and they're living an easy life from which is down in here. Or we're looking at it from the human point of view or whatever point of view we're doing it. Because remember, we in each of these realms at one point or another. As we get to this one, because of our karma, because of our good work and hard work, everything becomes easier. Life is easy. There's no stress. We're experiencing deep meditational bliss when we work out, when we do those things. Our bodies are very healthy, minds are very healthy. We're in love. All of these good things. You're feeling pretty darn good about your own life, right? But we want to use it as a way to practice and to realize when we're here, if we want to work harder, we want to work harder at ourselves and continue to work on ourselves in the wheel of samsara, even when we're rich like this, is to be humble, right? And two, to realize that we can enjoy this without clinging to it and being upset if it disappears or changes, which it will. Remember, that's one of the big rules is everything changes, everything's impermanent, right? This is the fact. It's the way. Um, when we think this way and when we can become into this kind of realm of being, we can start to use it as our training to say, like, look at the opportunity that I have to work more over here, right? And this guy's listen to the Buddha playing flutes, right? This middle path is what we're talking about. Remember the story of the middle path. The middle path is right. He was playing a lute, or he saw someone playing a lute. Actually, is what it was, and he realized that if the string is really too tight, the string will break, right? And if it's too loose, it'll blah, blah, won't work. But if you tune it, right, tune your life, right, you tune your mind better, then you play a beautiful melody, right? Everything is wonderful. Although we have to remember, not permanent. It's not something that we can keep forever and ever. Um, um, and that's the kind of action we want to take. Um, the complacency we can have is a warning, right? Because we think that like life is good, everything's no problem, you don't have to work anymore. Well, that may be the case, but we also have to work on ourselves because our mind is changeable, right? Our body is changeable. All of the five aggregates again, right? Form, body, feeling, perception, mental formations, and consciousness are all changeable. That's why it's not me as a permanent self, right? Me as a changing aggregate of things that develop and change over time, right? I'm not the same person that I was when I started this video, and you're not the same person that you were when you started watching this video. And in that case, let's go to, if you go down this side over here, down at the bottom, you can subscribe, or you can go up to this side over here, and you can look at the next video. But last little story on this one is, you know what? There's a story of not being attached and accepting changes that happen, Remember, there's a story of a farmer who was um, really worried because there was a drought, right? Big drought. And his friends came by and said, "Man, this is really tough on you. Oh, I'm so sorry. You must be just really stressed out." And he says, "Maybe." The next day, there's a big storm, brings a lot of water. But that storm scared the horse in the barn, and the barn opened up, and the horse got away. Next day, the people came back, says, "Wow, it was good you got that rain, but dang, your horse left. That was your only horse, man. That's the only thing you had to help you with on this whole property. What are you going to do? This is so terrible." And he said, "Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't." The next day, it goes on, a couple days go by, and the horse returns. And the horse returns not by himself, but he brings three wild horses with him. And the people come back, "Wow, you're so lucky. Your horse came back and brought you three other horses. Now you're a rich man. You have all these horses, you can train them and you can get them, make money, make more, do better." Maybe, maybe not. And a few days later, his son, who's a young man, was out there trying to break these horses and train them and get them used to the bridle and the saddle and these kind of things. And as he was doing that, he fell off the horse and broke his leg. The people came around and said, "Oh man, your only son. That's so terrible. Oh man, he broke his leg. He's not going to be able to help you so much. It's going to be a really hard life for you." Maybe, maybe not. A few days later, the military showed up. The military showed up and said, "We're conscripting any able-bodied man, okay, or under the age of whatever it was, 50." And this guy's like, "Well, I'm an old guy. I don't have to worry about it." He says, "We want to talk to your son." He says, "Sure. Here's my son right here. He's got a broken leg." He says, "Oh, well, he can't march, so he can't be in the army." So they left. And the people came back and they said, "Wow, man, you're so lucky. Must have such good karma, because here we have the military came and they're conscripting all the men, and here your son gets out of it because he has a broken leg. So lucky." He says, "Maybe." So that's kind of the thing of like not being so attached, because you don't know the outcome of what's going on when things happen. Okay. And it's really hard to do because you can get wallowed in that or excited in that. And that's exactly what we're trying to teach in these ones over here. So anyway, that's a little story. I'll tell a different story later. Anyway, this is Reverend Sean with Center Path. Hope you guys are doing well. Take care of yourselves, and don't forget to subscribe down below, and also, what is it? Leave a comment or a message or something like that, or tell me, what you'd like to see more of. See you soon.